I'm so happy and I'm so excited that I absolutely cannot stop smiling the whole day. And I will tell you why. Because obviously my Coco died not that long ago. He died on the 8th of January this year, 2024. And of course, it has been really difficult for me because Coco was 18 years old. And if you have been following my videos, you do know my story. And since Coco died on the 18th of on the 8th of January, since Coco died, I basically I can feel him around me. I can feel him being here like all the time. But especially the moment in time before I go to sleep, for the last 18 years it has been like that. Every single time I would go to sleep, he would go to sleep with me, Before I would go to sleep, he would already kind of start preparing for it, bless his heart, because he knew exactly the time when I would go to bed, for example. So last night, before, when I was on my way to bed, I get up. I was in the living room watching TV. I get up, I go to start turning the lights off. And then as I went to the kitchen, I just heard like a noise, from the table, like a bit of a noise on the table. But the noise actually sounded as Coco just jumped on the table, and he just what he would normally do. And from the table, he would jump on the floor, and then he would go upstairs, into the bedroom, yeah. And last night when I got up to turn the light off in the kitchen, I just hear exactly the same noise, and I hear the specific noise he really did made every single time when he would touch a plastic bottle which was located on the table. So this is something that I really picked up on immediately. This plastic bottle would make once Coco would kind of pass next to it, and as if he would kind of touch it a little bit, so it would make this very specific noise. And I was like, oh my god, he's here. I was feeling him being with me all this time. Don't get me wrong, I felt Coco being with me right from the beginning. I would cry and I could feel him around me, kind of watching me, and listening to me. I've just felt his presence. But now this was completely out of this world for me. So I just knew he was with me. I knew it. So I came to bed. I came upstairs, I lied down, and now suddenly I hear a really, a really loud noise, not loud noise, but a very loud type of a knock, right behind me. But nothing has made this noise, okay? Nothing, this noise, there is absolutely no way that something else made. I know this was Coco, because this noise, it was like a knock, but it was quite, I don't know, it was very loud and very specific. And it's something I haven't kind of heard before, because there are lots of things that are happening at night. For example, you turn the radiators off before you go to sleep, for example, and then the radiators, when they're cooling down, they're making this specific noise for ages. You know what I mean? So there are lots of noises like that we actually have at night, that we kind of know what they are because we got used to them. But this was something different. So I just knew something is behind me, that I just knew he was behind me. And then at that moment in time, I'm still oh my god, but what if it's some kind of a different entity? It could be a different entity, pretending to be my Coco, because this is very, very easy to happen indeed. But I just knew kind of, that thought crossed my mind, but I just knew kind of, no, I know this is my Coco. I can feel it. This feeling is completely undeniable. I can feel my Coco is in the room with me. So I hear that noise behind me, and then of course I turn around and I look, and there was no Coco. And the important thing to mention is that I was sleeping down, I was sleeping on the bed facing the door, and Coco I would normally be kind of, you see, this is an unusual thing that happened yesterday, because normally I'm facing the opposite way, but only this evening I was facing towards the door. I was facing the door, and this was really unusual. And only now I'm realizing I've done this, actually. Only now I'm realizing I've done this. And I was lying down facing the door, and then I, of course, hear the noise behind me. I turn around, there is nothing there, but I can feel him. But what I was going to say is that I was facing the other way, and then Coco would be, and the window, for example, where is the window? And Coco would be sleeping here, and then this is how we would sleep together, fell asleep together. But for some reason, this evening, I just kind of was facing a different direction. And so that's why I wasn't surprised when the noise came from the side where Coco was sleeping, but I felt him so much. And then after that, I was like, oh my God, he's here. Then after that, I'm hearing like a tapping noises, like the actual, Coco is walking on the floor. Every now and then I'm hearing this noise. And all this is happening within the first 5 minutes, okay? Because it's important to mention sometimes, most of the time, 99%, he would go to bed right with me. But sometimes if he wouldn't go to bed exactly the same time with me, it wouldn't pass like about 5 minutes. It wouldn't pass like about 5 minutes until he would jump on the bed. Bless his heart. So all this was happening within the first 5 minutes when I went into the bed. So the timing is absolutely right. The timing is absolutely perfect, because this would be the time when he would also come in, if he didn't come with me, for example. And as I was lying down, as I was facing the door, I keep on hearing like these tapping noises, and I can hear him walking. And there was one specific noise that was made, and this is right where the door are into my bedroom, right on that line, where the door are, and it's that line, and I know it came from there, this specific noise. I know Cressida was sleeping. I know that wasn't Cressida because she was sleeping. I know it wasn't her, and this like kind of like this part, in where the door are, it just made a noise like something stepped on it, and I just knew, oh my God, that's Coco. And at that moment in time, I looked towards the door, and the door were like about this much open, okay? The door were like this much open. I looked towards the door, and I'm saying to myself, I can feel him. I can sense him. I can feel his energy. It's very, very powerful. I know he's there. And I'm like, oh my God, I want to see him. I need to tune into this dimension, because you can do this. You can tune in to this dimension, and you can see what you want to see. Of course you can see spirits, but not all the time. Only certain spirits who wants to show themselves to you, and only the certain spirits you will see. Like, for example, when you kind of like tune in, and I'm looking towards where I kind of felt Coco's presence so much, and I knew that he's coming towards him, and I'm saying to myself, tune in, and I started tuning in. Okay, I started tuning in very, very slowly. Oh my God, and I started drifting towards this very, very specific dimension where suddenly it started to appear like a little shadow. And I'm looking at this little shadow. And the shadow is like slowly but surely, it's moving very, very slowly on the floor towards me. And as this shadow is moving towards me, okay, I'm like, oh my God, I can more and more see Coco's silhouette. I saw Coco's silhouette. Okay, so first of all, it was like a little shadow, like, that energy was absolutely undeniable. It was my Coco, indeed. And then that shadow became like a silhouette. It was like a Coco silhouette. And I can see Coco's silhouette, and I can feel Coco coming towards the bed. He jumped onto the bed, and I can see him I can see him. I can see his silhouette coming towards the bed, and I can see this energy, just exactly how Coco is, just exactly always how Coco was, slowly but surely coming towards me, slowly but surely coming towards me. And he just lie down, right? I can see him like this silhouette. I can feel him. I can sense him. Oh my God, it's such a beautiful energy. Like, oh my goodness. And he just lie down right in front of me. He lie down, and I just, oh my God, I just felt my Coco completely. I was like, oh my God, it is you. And I put my hands around him like this, and I completely felt him like he was there, like as if his physical body was there. I felt him, I felt my Coco, I felt his energy completely, to the point where I felt so content. You know, I felt so peaceful. I felt so relaxed. I felt, oh my God, I felt this really, really beautiful energy that I've missed so much. And as I was lying down, I was hugging that silhouette, you know. But of course, there was like not a physical body, but I could feel everything with every single fiber of my being. And I just hugged it, and I was so happy. And I was like, my Coco, that's you. I'm so happy you're here, my Coco. Oh my God, I knew you are here, but now I'm absolutely certain, 1,000,000% positive that my Coco did not leave me whatsoever. He is in this house still with me. And as I hugged him like that, I felt his presence completely, and I was just so happy. And this is how I just fell asleep. This is how I just completely fell asleep. Like within 1 minute, I fell asleep. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm like the worst insomniac there is. I always have been a bit of an insomniac, seriously. I am like the worst insomniac, okay? I do not take any sleeping tablets or anything like that for it whatsoever, okay? But I am like complete insomniac. I almost never kind of fell asleep like immediately. My brain is always like going 100 miles per hour, I suppose, you know. So I take a little time to slow down, and then I can just kind of start considering me kind of starting to fall asleep, I suppose, you know. So my point is that I never fell asleep immediately, but last night when my Coco came and he just cuddled with me, his spirit literally cuddled with me, because he knows the amount of pain I've been through. He knows how much I've missed. He knows I've cried every single day, you know. But, you know, at the same time, you know, as soon as he came for a cuddle last night, I fell asleep within 1 minute. Within 1 minute, I fell asleep, my gorgeous people. That was remarkable, and that's the last thing that I actually remember last night. I cuddled him, I hugged him, I felt his energy, I felt his presence. I could even smell his gorgeous hair. I could even smell my gorgeous Coco, you know. And then within 1 minute, I hugged him, and I was so peaceful, so peaceful. No doubt that this energy did heal me, indeed, you know. Especially after everything I've been through so far when it comes to him. It has been really, really difficult because we have been extremely connected, you know. So this is why I'm so excited, because last night within 1 minute I literally fell asleep, okay? I literally fell asleep. And that's the last thing that I remember. And I never fell asleep that quick. I never ever fell asleep that fast, you know. Fantastic. So in the morning when I woke up in such a good mood, and I'm so happy the whole day because I know my Coco is still with me.